Swami Babaji. Um, Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. Very, very grateful for to be able to speak to you in spite of everything that's going on in the world. On the topic of technology, as we can see, like thanks to the fact that we have technology, we're able to have this call today with you. And you've been very gracious in giving all of the satsangs and Q&As over YouTube, so that during the pandemic we've been able to still connect, even if we can't physically always go to satsang. However, at the same time, because I was born at a time when phones were not really a common thing. I mean, people had landlines and they would call each other, and things were much simpler. Now we have smartphones with constant notifications, and I myself think I check my phone about maybe 400 times in a day. And I worry about what it's doing to my spiritual practice, because each time we check the phone, we break our Simran. And it also creates that anxiety, because the way that phones are designed is very, it's almost like addictive. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on how we can be better at having technology in our lives, because we can't really live in a cave, but at the same time being able to not compromise on that spiritual practice.
Better science, technology, media today wants to control your thinking. If it controls your thinking, it controls you. So they will keep on throwing little bits, pieces, basically to keep your attention riveted on them rather than on your responsibilities. You tell me, what is it that will happen if you don't check your phone for one day?
I mean,
will the world change?
Nothing.
Will the world change?
No, it won't. I'm very happy not to.
Life was going on before also. Once I met a general at the border, and I asked him, I said, what is the biggest thing your troops face? What is the biggest issues your troops face? He said, cell phone. I said, cell phone? I thought he would say something in terms of ammunition, arms and all that. He says, good old days, my soldiers are at the border. If there was an issue at home, wife would write a letter, and that would take 4 or 5 days to come. And by that time, probably the trouble would be over, and they would be back to normal by the time he got a chance to call. Now with the cell phone, she calls up immediately. He gets affected, she gets affected, and there are issues. So every problem in life doesn't necessarily need immediate action. There are certain things you should think over, don't you? So many issues in life, you want to think them over for 1 or 2 days before you take the action. But with this media, with this sort of technology today, they are wanting us to react immediately. And when you react immediately, you are probably most of the time, you haven't thought about it carefully, and so you are taking the wrong action. So you are actually putting your life in their hands. And eventually they'll start controlling you. You'll stop thinking. You know, if you, without needing vitamins, you keep on taking vitamins, the body will stop producing them. So similarly, if you are going to react like that, and they are going to give you answers, your mind will stop thinking about it. You will just become another robot in their hands. So I'm not saying technology is bad, but a certain balance has to be kept. You check your messages 2 times a day or 3 times a day. You use your phone to make a call, and that's about it. Why do you need to check it every 5 minutes?
Yeah, you don't, but generally I agree. I think that especially with the spiritual path, we're supposed to digest, right? And try and focus on Simran as much as we can during the day when we're not sitting. And I just really feel very anxious lately because I'm not getting that peace of mind that I used to have when my phone wasn't, in front of me all the time. So
because we are putting that stress on ourselves. We are creating this tension. Nobody else is doing it. You know, in good old days, people used to go on retreats where, they'd go into a forest or something. Now we have come to that sort of point of time where your retreat is going to be just sitting in the house, but not using your cell phone for one day?
I would love to. Yeah, I mean, that would be a good challenge for me.
That has to be self-control. Na? Nobody can keep on doing these things for you. We have to exercise self-control.
Yes. Thanks, Babaji, for the encouragement.
Raswami Babaji, we are so happy to have you with us. I understand one thing is that to get to constant, continuous Simran, one has to empty the mind. How does one empty the mind, Master?
Well, this is a manner of speech that you have to do this and you have to do that. Basic thing is that if you keep your attention focused at the eye center, definitely it will not go downwards. And if you are taking it upwards, whatever those tendencies are, as they start setting in and taking root, everything else will be diminished. So it's a process. So when we say empty the mind, it is not that you just take a glass and you empty it like that.
I understand that it's a gradual process, what we call a japa jap. See, I try, not too long ago, maybe 2-3 months ago, I have tried, like when I'm doing mundane jobs that don't require any attention, like cooking and cleaning and all that at home, and I don't have any background music or talk, like the background is absolutely quiet. And the intention is, with the quiet atmosphere and work that does not require so much attention, I should be able to repeat the Simran. So it happens, 1 or 2 lines go by, and then it's gone. I'm paying attention to something that doesn't require so much attention. So I miserably fail, Master. What shall I do?
It's not a question of failure. I think we are too judgmental, we are too calculative. The basic idea is that whenever you can do it, do it. We are creatures of habit. Whatever habits we've created, the mind is going to behave like that. So we are trying to create a new habit. And that habit is not going to come overnight. So just keep on doing it. I think we analyze too much. So whenever the mind is free, start it. Whenever the mind is free, start it. Rather than sitting and analyzing and being judgmental on yourself, it's a constant process, like I said. Rome was not built in a day. Brick by brick, with the passage of time, it became the city it is today. So similarly, just because we understand today, we think overnight we can change. Mind is not like a robot that you can switch on or switch off.
So when I'm trying...
Whatever habits we've created, just learn to create a new habit, and then automatically it will go towards that.
When I'm trying to keep a very quiet background with whatever I'm doing, is that trying to empty the mind?
There are certain things, which are fixed in our minds. The mind is like a memory of a computer. You should know that you can never really delete everything, no matter how many times you press that button. Anybody who's computer literate will tell you that there are certain grooves which are so strong that you can never delete them. So what we need to do is keep on being positive, keep on being positive. And the more positive we are diluting the negativity. If we are positive, it will be a positive reaction. If we are negative, it will be a negative reaction.
Yes.
So today we are in the process of trying to dilute that negativity within us, to take positive steps, to think positively. But to say that some of these memories or some of these actions can be fully vacated, it may not happen.
Okay. May I read you 4-5 lines, very small ones? that deal with Simran and you. Yeah? Few seconds. Okay. जहाँ दया है वहाँ सेवा है, जहाँ सेवा है वहाँ धर्म है, जहाँ धर्म है वहाँ संतोष है, जहाँ संतोष है वहाँ सिमरन है, जहाँ सिमरन है वहाँ पर आप खुद बैठे हो. बस.
Swami Babaji, thank you for showering us with your grace. My first question to you is that in the initial phase, when we start meditating, is it okay that we give 80 to 90% of our time to Simran, since that's the time we are trying to build our focus, and as it gets better, we can devote more time to bhajan?
Beta, that's what's explained to you, na? 2 hours for your Simran and half an hour for your bhajan. So yes, in the beginning, you can start with that. But eventually, as you're able to hear the Shabad, then we should try and increase the time of the bhajan.
Sure. Babaji, and my second question is more pertaining to what the current generation thinks nowadays. Like men might think that, you know, they have dreams to retire early and have a good life, fulfill their dreams, and not get tied down to with a responsibility of a child, since it ties you down for a long number of years. And with the kind of exposure children have nowadays, they need their own space and independence. And after a few years, you might feel that was it all worth it? Versus a woman who might think that motherhood is an experience which one should go through the lifetime, at least once through the lifetime. So, what's your advice on this?
Beta, this is something very personal.
Yeah.
It depends upon the two partners. It doesn't depend upon anybody else.
Yeah.
But let me just say one thing, that no matter how much planning we do, it's not going to go as per our planning.
Yeah.
Now, we must experience life in its totality to understand life. Okay? And experiencing life in its totality means you go through all the ups and downs. We are looking at an ideal. There is no ideal, beta. Ideal can be an objective that you try and work towards. But the moment you think that, okay, you know, many times we think, okay, if I have so much money, then I can retire. But when you reach that signpost, you understand that you require more, or your responsibilities have grown. So success in life, beta, is not about how much money you make, all these things. It is how well you solve your problems. So, like I said, it's between you and your husband, it's between the two partners, not for somebody else to tell you. But I don't think so that trying to create an idealistic life is going to help you any better to understand or to be more positive.
Sure. Thank you, Babaji. Thank you so much for everything.
ਰਾਜਸਵਾਮੀ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ, ਬਈ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਆਨਸਰ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਅਤੇ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਸਤਸੰਗ ਘਰ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਅਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲਾਈ ਰੱਖਿਆ। ਅਤੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਿੰਡ 'ਚ ਸੀ ਅਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜਥੇਦਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਵੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਜਾਣਾ, ਉਸੇ ਵੇਲੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਣਾ। ਅਤੇ ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਏ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੇਵਾ ਤੋਂ ਦੂਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਰਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ 'ਚ।
ਉਹ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਬੇਟਾ, ਸੇਵਾ ਭਾਵਨਾ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਭਾਵਨਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੇਵਾ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਸਿਰਫ ਡੇਰੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਧਰਮ ਸਥਾਨ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ। ਸੇਵਾ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਗਿਣਤੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਿਆਂਦੇ। ਹੁਣ ਡੇਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਹੌਲ ਅਲੱਗ ਹੈ, ਡੇਰੇ ਦੀਆਂ ਲੋੜਾਂ ਅਲੱਗ ਹੈ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਇੱਥੇ ਮਾਹੌਲ ਅਲੱਗ ਹੈ, ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਲੋੜਾਂ ਅਲੱਗ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਦਾਇਰੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਚੱਲ ਕੇ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਨਾ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਮਗਰ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨੀਆਂ ਲੋੜਾਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ, ਇੰਨੇ ਕੰਮ ਹੈਗੇ, ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਬੇਟਾ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ।
ਆਪਾਂ ਦੂਜਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਸੇਵਾ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਾਜ ਹੈ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਹੈ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਦੁਕਾਨਦਾਰੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਨਿਸ਼ਕਾਮ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਬਣ ਜਾਊਗੀ।
ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਬਾਬਾ। ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਸਾਡਾ MP ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਇਹ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਜਾਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਸੈਟਲ ਕਰੀਏ, ਤੇ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਿਓ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਜੁੜੇ ਰਹੀਏ, ਸੇਵਾ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਓ ਤੇ ਨਾਮਦਾਨ ਦੀ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ ਕਰਿਓ। ਬਸ।
ਬੇਟਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਤਾਂ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਭਜਨ ਸਿਮਰਨ,
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਵੀ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਅਭੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਇਹ ਤਾਕਤ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ ਕਰੇ, ਬਖਸ਼ਿਓ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾਮਦਾਨ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸਮੁੰਦਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਸਮਾਈਏ। ਰਾਧਾ ਸਵਾਮੀ।
ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਰਾਧਾ ਸਵਾਮੀ। ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਕੁ ਮਹੀਨਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਆ ਉਹ ਖੱਬੇ ਸਾਈਡ ਤੋਂ ਸੁਣ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕੰਟੀਨਿਊ। ਮੈਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਬਹਿਨਾ ਸਿਮਰਨ 'ਤੇ ਬਹਿਨਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਖੱਬੇ ਸਾਈਡ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਜਦੋਂ ਭਜਨ 'ਤੇ ਬਹਿਨਾ ਹਾਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਖੱਬੇ ਸਾਈਡ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਕਾਫੀ ਟਰਾਈ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਬਾਵਜੂਦ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਸੈਂਟਰ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਜਾਂ
ਨਹੀਂ ਬੇਟਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਖੱਬੇ ਔਰ ਸੱਜੇ ਬਾਰੇ, ਸਾਡਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਖੱਬੇ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਐਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਖੱਬੇ ਤੋਂ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਹੁਣ ਦੇਖੋ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਬੇਟਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਸ਼ਬਦ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਸਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ। ਜਿਸਮ ਤੋਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਹਿੱਸੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਮਾਲਿਕ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵਾਪਸ ਬੁਲਾ ਲਿਆ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਬੰਦ ਹੋ ਜਾਊਗਾ।
ਜੀ
ਸੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਚੈਨਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, ਆਪਾਂ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਇਕਾਗਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਇੱਥੇ ਰੱਖੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੱਜੇ ਖੱਬੇ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਓ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਧਿਆਨ ਇੱਥੇ ਰੱਖੋ ਔਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਸੁਣਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰੋ।
ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਕੋਟਨ ਕੋਟ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਜੋ ਆਪ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ। ਰਾਧਾ ਸਵਾਮੀ।
राधा स्वामी। बाबा जी जैसे कोई मरता है तो उनकी मेमोरीज हमें याद आती हैं बाद में, और कभी कभी सोच के रोते हैं कि हाँ कभी वैसे भी दिन थे और आज वो चले गए हैं, आज वो हमारे साथ नहीं है। तो
बेटा, वो सच्चा प्यार होता है ना, प्यार ये होता है कि जो भी वो हमें बनाना चाहते थे या जो उनकी इच्छा थी हम उसको पूरा करें। हम अपनी जरूरत के साथ याद करते हैं, वो सच्चा प्यार नहीं है, वो तो स्वार्थ हो गया ना। सो जिनके साथ भी रिश्ता था, जो चले गए, वो क्या चाहते थे उसको पूरा करें, उसके ऊपर ध्यान दें।
बाबा जी मेरी फ्रेंड है इंडिया में, तो उसका एक क्वेश्चन है। वो बोलती है कि जैसे कि रूहानियत में बोला गया है कि हमें किसी के बारे में बुरा नहीं सोचना चाहिए, और मतलब उसके साथ बहुत लोगों ने बुरा किया है और उसने सब कुछ अपने मम्मा पापा को बताया है, एंड मतलब फिर भी उसने ये नहीं सोचा कि इन्होंने मेरे साथ बुरा किया या फिर क्या है, वो फिर भी उनकी हेल्प करती है। एंड उसके बाद भी लोग उसे पागल बोलते हैं या कुछ ऐसे बोलते हैं, क्योंकि वो अब जैसे वो लोगों की हेल्प भी कर रही है काफ़ी, ऑक्सीजन प्रोवाइड करवाने में, बट फिर भी वो अपनी फैमिली को लेके कॉन्शियस है। तो उसके घर वाले उसको बोलते हैं कि तू ये क्या कर रही है, बहुत पैनिक हो रही है तू, तो क्या करना चाहिए उसे?
बेटा, जो हर एक की जिम्मेवारी है उसको अगर निभाना पागलपन है तो बेहतर यही है कि हम पागल बन जाएं। बेटा, इस वक्त जब इतनी कहर लगी हुई है तो हर एक को अपनी जिम्मेवारी का एहसास होना चाहिए। हम किसी की भी मदद कर सकते हैं, हमें करनी चाहिए। बेटा, लोग आजकल बहुत स्वार्थी हो गए, इसलिए वो अपना छोटा सा दायरा देख के उसी में रहना चाहते हैं। मगर बेटा, जो बीमारी है ना वो दायरे नहीं देखती। तो अगर हर एक जाना थोड़ा सा सबकी मदद करे, सही सोचे, तो अपने आप हम इसके ऊपर काबू पा सकें।
Okay, Baba Ji, thank you, Radha Swami.
Radha Swami Babaji. So thank you so much for this opportunity to be here and ask questions to you. So basically, I have only 2 questions. The first one is, I'm a jolly person. I'm a very active teacher. But whenever I go home, I always feel very depressed with no reason at all. So for the whole day, I was with the kids. Everything seems to be okay. But whenever I am alone by myself inside my room, I feel very sad and tend to cry all the time. So I just want to have some suggestions from you.
Sister, basically, we have come into the world alone and we will go back alone. This is an illusion that we have created of family, of friends, of society, and that is creating a certain amount of dependency. Now, we have to become self-sufficient, beta. So try, because you are answerable to yourself. You have to learn to live with yourself. If you are comfortable with yourself, life will be very positive wherever you go. But if you create a dependency upon others, now they are not going to behave in the manner or they will do what you want them to do. Would you like to become dependent on anybody?
No. So basically, I just want to know, like, how can I have peace and happiness into my heart without like thinking of anything?
Peace and happiness will come from within, not from somebody outside. We think that somebody else can give you peace. Nobody can give you peace, beta. If your heart is on fire, your mind is in turmoil, no matter what they do for you, you will have no peace. But if your mind is at rest, you will have peace wherever you go. So that peace we have to get from within. And to do that, we have to tune into ourselves. We have to learn to be comfortable with ourselves rather than creating a dependency upon others.
Yeah. And one more thing is like, how can I overcome some of the insecurities that I am feeling, some rejections? Because like, for example, sometimes I am thinking, what if they don't like me? What if my partner's parents will not like me at the end of the day? So how can I overcome all of this thing?
We should focus on the Lord. He will never reject us. The world always calculates as long as they need you, they will want you. The moment they don't need you, they will dump you. And that goes in the closest of relationships. Okay? So don't create that dependency on these relationships. The relationship with the Lord, He will never dump you. Whether you are good, you are bad, He will always be there for you. So let's focus on that relationship. And if we focus on that, that will give us the confidence, to be positive. And if you are positive, you will get something good out of everything. Because in these relationships, you will never get what you are seeking. And that is what causes the insecurity.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Babaji, Radhasomi.
Radhasomi Babaji, please grant me the strength and the sincerity to do my work.
Beta, we don't have to ask for these things. He's already given whatever we deserved. He's given it to us. We just need to realize it. Most of us physical beings have created this habit that we think that if we don't ask, we won't get.
Yes.
So whatever He had to give us, He's given us. We just need to realize it.
Yeah, at times I just feel lazy to do. Sometimes I am not sincere. So I was just thinking if you could just help me, just give me a push.
Beta, everything that we get is going to be from our own action.
Okay.
Can you teach anybody love? Can you give anybody love? It has to come from within, na?
Yes.
So everything is dependent upon your action. He can only guide you. He can create an atmosphere for you.
Okay.
But the action has to be yours.
Sure.
So unless we don't take the action, nothing is going to happen.
Okay, I'll try my best. Thank you so much.
Radhasomi Babaji, thank you for this opportunity that I'm able to talk to you. Babaji, my question is that how do we surrender our minds to the Master and how do we stay in His will?
Because surrender it's a process that takes place, As our understanding becomes better, we are able to let go. Today we are holding on to everything better. So that is why it's a concept for us. But the more you understand of life and more you sort of see how much He's doing for us and how limited we are, when you understand that somebody knows much more than you, his understanding of life is much better than you will automatically listen to him. Na? But today we are not in that position. We think we know. And when you say you know, you're already in a limited parameter and you're going to make mistakes. Then you're responsible for those. So it's a process of which will come over a period of time as you become more mature, as you understand that we are very limited beings. He knows much better than us. And if he knows better than us, and if he doesn't make mistakes, isn't it better to stay in his will rather than exercise our so-called free will?
Ji. Babaji, sometimes we have these inner experiences and then maybe through meditation or through dreams, but we are advised not to share it with anyone. So can you please explain why?
But I would say the dreams are very different from the experience that you have during meditation. Dreams come from the subconscious mind. Today, the conscious mind we are not able to understand. Now, if you can't understand your conscious state of affairs, where are you going to understand the subconscious mind? The subconscious mind is like a storehouse. In a store, everything that you don't need is put there. When you need it, you take it out and then you put it back. So that is only to help us to understand what is there which has made a groove in our mind, in a positive manner or in a negative manner. And that's why Hazur used to say, positive dream, be positive, negative, forget about it. That's all. Now, the experiences that you get during meditation, they are basically to build your confidence. Okay, don't try and take meaning out of that. It means that if you are seeing Hazur or you are seeing something nice, that there is positivity within you, there's clarity of thought has started coming in. That's why you're able to see. If you were in behind the curtain of Maya, you would not be able to say. So, which means there's clarity. Don't start analyzing and saying, oh, I saw this and maybe it means this. It means nothing. Just look at it from a positive and a negative point of view. That's about it.
Babaji, my parents back in India, they're going through a very difficult time. And I'm like very helpless and guilty. I'm feeling very guilty sitting here and then not be able to do anything about it. So
by being guilty, can you help them? You're only becoming part of the problem. Try and be part of the solution, not part of the problem. There are certain things we can do and certain things we can't do. Now, just getting obsessed with it and feeling guilt about it, you're going to become part of the problem. That's probably going to affect you. Either we'll go into depression or we'll take an action which is wrong. So, in a positive manner, see what is it that you can do and do that. That's about it.
Babaji, please bless him and give us the strength to face this difficult time, Babaji.
Radhaswami Babaji. Babaji, my question is, how do you deal with negative thoughts of doing something you don't want to? And sometimes you feel like you have the strength to ignore it. And sometimes you feel weak and, these thoughts take over you and you feel very, very scared.
Beta, how does it work? First comes the thought gets registered, and then comes the action. Yes. Mystics have always told us, don't let that thought also come into your mind. Because today the mind is not in our control. So if you are thinking about something constantly, it's making a groove. And once it's made a groove, before you know it, it'll get channelized into action.
Yeah.
So thought by itself is not a karma. Mm-hmm. But because we are not in control of the mind, at some stage it can become an action, and action means karma.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you. We are influenced by whatever is happening around us. We are influenced by media, by people, by circumstances, and definitely lots of different thoughts will go on into your mind. But then, where is my maturity? Where is my vivek? Where is my sense of discrimination? If I know what is good and bad, why would I sort of just indulge myself and say, oh, it doesn't make a difference, and carry on with those thoughts? It does make a difference, beta. Every penny makes a pound.
Yeah.
Every paisa makes a rupee.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's better just to stop it out there. Just divert your mind, start doing something else.
Okay. By doing Simran?
Simran or something. I mean, you can't always be able to do Simran, but I mean, if you're in the car or something else, you can put on some shabads, you can put on something positive. Somebody's gossiping, just walk away from there.
Okay.
You have to see better. Nobody can tell you 100% what to do. But the idea is to avoid these thoughts taking root in our mind.
Okay. All right, Babaji. And Babaji, sometimes you feel like, alone and you feel the fear of being alone. So how do you deal with that?
That's the biggest fear, beta. After death, I would say it's the fear of loneliness.
Yeah.
Most of the depressions in Western countries and all is because of that. But haven't we really brought it upon ourselves, beta? First, we had large families, you had joint families. There was always somebody. Now, even if somebody was ill, your mother and father couldn't come, some aunt or uncle or somebody would be there. But slowly, we've become individualistic. We've sort of taken ourselves away. Because with every right, there's a responsibility.
Yeah.
We want our rights, but we don't want the responsibility. So we've become so individual now. I will only think about what I want and what I need and what I see. Now, if you don't help others, how do you expect others to help you better?
Yes, Babaji.
You see, and having said that, the other aspect is better. We came alone. We are always going to be alone. It's a fallacy. It's an illusion that we've created. I've got so many friends. I've got so many relatives. At the ending of the day, nobody knows what you are going through. Only you know what you're going through.
Yeah.
So you have to actually strengthen yourself.
Okay, that's
that no matter what the circumstances, no matter what the situation, you should be happy.
Yeah.
What happens, beta, is we are always constantly seeking society and company because we are scared. We are scared of the introspection that takes place when you're alone. We are running away from ourselves. We have to learn to be at peace with ourselves. And when you are at peace with yourself, Namita, you'll be at peace with the world.
Yes, Babaji.
We are seeking peace from the world, but we are not at peace with ourselves. That's why there's so much turmoil. Now, if you are at peace with yourself, somebody can put you in hell and you'll still be comfortable.
Yes, Babaji.
You'll still be happy.
Okay. And Babaji, please bless me with strength and courage, Babaji, and peace. Thank you.
राधा स्वामी बाबा जी, आप हमेशा कहते हैं कि किस्मत हमें एक मुकाम पर लाकर खड़ा कर देती है, उसके बाद हमारी चॉइस है कि हम गलत सोचें या राइट। हमें पता कैसे चले कि हम राइट कर रहे हैं या गलत कर रहे हैं, और जिम्मेवारी पूरी कर रहे हैं या नहीं कर रहे हैं? हमारी तो
सबको मालूम है कि सही क्या है, गलत क्या है। ये मेरे को समझाने की बात नहीं है। और जिम्मेवारी क्या है, ये भी हमें मालूम है। तो आप परखों में मत जाएं। हम ना हर एक चीज की बाल की खाल उधेड़ने में लग जाते हैं। जितना हमें एहसास है उसको तो पूरा करें। उसको पूरा करेंगे, हमारी जागरूकता बढ़ेगी, अपने आप उसकी और गहराई में चले जाएंगे। हम पहले समझने में लग जाते हैं और करनी में हमारी पीछे हट जाती है। करते जाएं, बस
करते जाएं,
फर्क में मत पड़े।
ठीक है, बख्शे।